Ladies and gentlemen, welcome down to the John Bailey Arena here at the Poco Rec Center. Junior A lacrosse action. Time to meet your Nanaimo team. Number 1, Jay Stewart. Number 44, Boston McDonald. Number 2, Daniel O'Leary. Number 5, Daniel Bishop. Number 6, Thomas Young. Number 8, Reed Johnson. Number 11, Gavin Gunderson. Number 12, Tannen Harrison. Number 16, Jack Hall. Number 17, Tyson Fontana. Number 18, Jack Wade. Number 19, James Hall. Number 20, Ryder Goodwin. Number 23, Max Tyre. Number 32, Rylan Mon. Number 33, Cole Prontak. Number 77, Jaden Thomas. Number 14, Carter Blaze. Number 21, Gavin Bourne. And number 15, Liam Solon. Time now to meet your Poco Saints.
Yeah. Y'all stand up. Poco Saints in the house. Black and yellow forever.
Number 88, Ashton Brown. Number 1, Colby Highland. Number 2, Nolan Ross. Number 7, Tyler Lurn. Number 8, Carter Smith. Number 11, Parker Malott. Number 14, Lincoln Wall. Number 16, Luke Neary. Number 17, Chase Hemmerling McLean. Number 19, Jordan Beach. Number 20, Levi Tui. Number 21, Carter Donahue. Number 22, Cole Cameron. Number 25, Dylan Illett. Number 26, Matthias Gotek. Number 27, Connor O'Brien. Number 32, Josh Addy. Number 34, Josh Mills. Number 46, Riley Burford. Number 77, Elijah Terry. Your head coach, Travis Cornwall. Assistant coaches, Jeff Cornwall, Ian Patterson, Kevin Shoemaker, Ryan Mills, Josh Wall, Dave Kidd are your managers. And your athletic therapist, Omar and Maddie. They're our trainers today. Please stand at this time. Gentlemen, remove your headgear and join our friend Ella as we sing our national anthem.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love, in all of us command, with glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Well, it's a Sunday afternoon matinee matchup here, Georgie, as the Poco Saints make their way back to home floor to take on the Nanaimo Timbermen. It's the battle of the winless, but that is not something that can be said once we find our way towards the end of this game. Welcome to BC Sports TV, folks. My name's Tino Farah. I already introduced you to cameraman extraordinaire George Parra. Producer to the Stars, Keith Gagne, is once again to my right. The Saints back to home floor after a real tough outing on Friday night versus the Coquitlam Adanac. 7-3 was the final in that one. They would love to get themselves off to their winning ways, and they're going to lean on that man right now, or right there, excuse me, Ashton Brown, who was in for each and every one of the minutes for Poco on Friday, and he will likely do some more of that here this afternoon. At the other end, it's going to be Boston McDonald, who had his game cut a little bit short. Little mystery scrolling through the stat sheet from Nanaimo's loss versus Langley yesterday. But Boston McDonald was handed out a misconduct for illegal equipment back in time to start this game this afternoon. The third start of the season for Boston McDonald. He's got a .745 save percentage. Josh Adey, the former Nanaimo Timberman, making his mark just 9 seconds in. He'll draw an early power play here for Poco, and what a way to kick off this game this would be if they can get their offense feeling good early on. Extreme Threads is the official uniform supplier to the Poco Saints and teams around the world. Your one-stop shop for customized team or company apparel, embroidery, screen printing, sublimated uniforms, and more. ExtremeThreads.ca. Chase Hammerling McLean is going to run the point on this Saints power play. Play a little bit of pass and catch with the near side shooter, Elijah Terry, who goes backdoor over to Wall. Return feed, Terry looking low, and that's a left pad save. Rebound, and Hammerling McLean fired it wide. Mills will collect the rebound off the boards. Good start to the power play. They'll be happy with a reset as well. Couple of backhand feeds, and Mills can't get it underneath of McDonald, who kept the stick down. Spun around as well, and the centering feed towards Hammerling McLean was not quite as clean of a pass as Lincoln Wall had hoped for. That's not as clean of a toe punt either, as it was kicked over the line by Nanaimo captain Gavin Gunderson, but he couldn't retain possession. This is a new look Nanaimo team, led by their head coach and general manager in his first year with the group, Ty Yanko, formerly with the Burnaby Lakers. It's Terry, he'll run point this time. Mills will shoot, Mills will score. 1 for 1 on the man advantage, and Poco leads 1-0. So we'll take another look here. Mills was fighting it a little bit last game. Took him a while before he found his first of that game, and a celebration that looked very similar to that one. Lots of emotion behind it. This time he tickles twine early in the game, and Poco can feel good about their start. And Nanaimo now knows, stay out of the box, especially if this Poco power play is going to heat up. Came into this game firing at 33%, and the theme of just 3 guys finding the back of the net on the power play continues for Poco. Before Mills had just scored, he, Lincoln Wall, and Elijah Terry had been the only Saints to score on the man advantage. That shot whistles wide. Rebound falls over to Neary. He'll look up. Dylan Eilert was on the far wall. Mills right back out. Lincoln Wall is as well. In comes Parker Malott as Mills goes airborne and touches down in the crease. He argues the call. He thinks there should have been a penalty on the play. Nothing going just yet. Nanaimo still looking for their first shot. It's Reed Johnson. Check that. It's Jack Wade. Shot on the run. Didn't make its way on goal. Oh, and it's underneath the Brown. It's in. Oh, it trickled between his legs. Tyson Fontenla. Looks like Brown got a lot of it, but not quite enough. You can just see it rattle around, and yeah, the referee right on the goal line. That's an easy one to tell from there. Poco now looking for the lead again. It's Nolan Ross tasked with taking draws. Sean Lemishka, a healthy scratch here this afternoon for second straight game. Here's Josh Adey. The last time he touched the turf, he drew a penalty against his former team. Adam Wong, a healthy scratch as well for the Saints in this one. He's the other former member of this Nanaimo Timbermen team. Mills has a lane to the goal. He'll hammer it and put that into the leg pads of Boston McDonald. Confident save there on the 5th shot of the game for Poco. Here come the Timbermen. They're going to start on the near half wall. Tanner Harrison waits for some help. It was a late Nanaimo change. By the time they get set here, there's just 11 on the shot clock. Fake shot. Wade puts it into a Saints defender. Big rebound to Harrison. Oh, he still had 5 seconds on the shot clock. And players ahead of him, but decided to dump it down into the corner and just get the defense on. Onto the floor now for Poco comes Mateusz Notek, playing in his first career Junior A game over from the Czech Republic. If you have not heard his name before, go check out some of his Junior B stats this season with the Poco Saints. 28 points in just 5 games played. this is quite the prospect, and many of those points have come from dunks behind the goal, which it looked like Lincoln Wall was trying to set him up on. And he'll pick up a loose ball and get a fresh 30. He and Wall will do a bit of work. It's another dynamic lefty doing some work for Poco. Stop me if you've heard that before. Lincoln Wall. Speaking of trying to get topside, Mills sets a screen. He has room. He'll shoot glove side, but missed that. That bounces its way back towards center, and Carter Smith can't get there in time to hold the zone. So shift number 1 for the 17-year-old rookie out of the Czech Republic is in the books. Keep your eye on 26 in white, folks. He is going to be a name to get used to. Here's Josh Adey on the run. He'll stop up. Peek towards the outside. Dylan Eilert to chase Hemmerling McLean. Hall does some work on him. Hemmerling McLean appears to have taken a shot up high. Uncalled, but now he'll create some space for Wall in the middle. He'll drive low. Wall looking up top. He'll spin underneath on his defender, but a good slide from Hall keeps him at bay. Here's Ross. He'll shoot and score. Poco back in front by 1. That's what you get when you have Lincoln Wall being the leading goal scorer for this club. You see the attention he draws. And wide open on the other side of the floor was Nolan Ross, who pulls off one of those 3-quarter release shots and gets it under the glove of Boston McDonald. So Mills has his 5th of the year. Nolan Ross has his 1st. Ross, the 5th-year junior out of Port Coquitlam, playing for his hometown team. One of those versatile type of players on this roster that can play a little bit of defense and a little bit of offense. Listed as a defender in this one. Mills to the goal, and is that going to count? No, it won't. Again, he doesn't like it. That looked like it crossed the line, but officials are going to wave it off. Fontenla with the lone Nanaimo goal so far. Back on the floor once again. Hard pass return to Fontenla with a bouncer that missed. Now Harrison, and that fooled Ashton Brown a little bit. Looked like he was leaning backwards, an awkward type of save, but a save nonetheless. No tech back on, as is Cole Cameron. He'll knock that down and forward that a little bit farther to the corner. Parker Malott as the late trailer, and Hemmerling McLean off of a pretty feed in front by No Tech.
Assist number 14, Lincoln Wall, and number 77, Terry Elijah.
Better start to this game for Poco than 48 hours ago. Just felt like it took a little while for them to get settled, and by that point, Coquitlam was already off to the races. Still a low-scoring game, but just never really felt like Poco found themselves in control, and this is a big season for them. It looked like that ball went out of play off the goaltender, and yeah, now the trailing official might have had a better sight line on it. Will give possession back to Nanaimo, and they'll try to take advantage, and Wade tackled, and that'll be a crease violation against him. Levi Tui making sure to let him hear about it. The new captain in Poco. Not going to let contact with his goaltender by any means slide. So he continues to draw with Wade, who is going to have to get some repairs on his equipment. Smith tried to swim through the middle, decided to feed Terry. Now Wall, a good handle to find that. It was a low pass. He'll flip back towards Terry, taking it off the bounce, and there's going to be an interference call, looks like, against Nanaimo. By the looks of things, Poco had possession. Whatever, they'll reset the clock. Now Terry with it again. In his 1st year with Poco, coming off of his freshman year over at Florida Southern College. Mills with a good takeaway. The ball remains down on the turf. Remember, this is Nanaimo possession right now, so the 8-second count likely going to go here, and wisely, Mills and Wall do not want to pair up to pick that up. They'll just let the clock wind down on its own, and they'll stay with possession. Wall on the wall. Late man in will be Terry, fresh off of the bench. Backhand and a little too heavy on the pick was Notek. So the reset was all for naught. As Fontenla waits for some more help to come, and it does. Behind the goal, here's Harrison. 10 on the shot clock. He'll try to wrap it around from outside. That made its way on goal, and now Levi Tui is going to do some more work on Harrison, but he'll win that battle. Fontenla. Neary on the switch, and O'Leary thought that trickled through, raised his arms in celebration, but Ashton Brown had it underneath of him. Now Notek on the sprint. He wants that pass. Hammerling McLean decides to settle possession a little bit. Now up to Terry from Tulsa, Oklahoma. His defender falls. Hammerling McLean takes it, and he'll try to flip back towards Notek, who is starting to vacate. Now Terry, one hand, feeds Hammerling McLean, just avoids the crease. He'll try the dunk, and McDonald kept the shoulders up. No room at that crossbar for Hammerling McLean to tuck that in, and Nanaimo just gets over the center line in time. Maybe half of a second remaining before that would have been possession. Poco. Now Johnson working on Meach, gets it over to that far wall. Just 3 on the shot clock. Meach doing a little more work, and that's just a perfectly placed shot. Oh no, they're going to say that it didn't go off of Brown. That looked like it was a bounce off the shoulder and out of play, and I think the Nanaimo bench also agrees that it should be their possession. The decision makers on the floor, though, give it back to the Saints as Mills on his toes, ready to make a move. There's a hard screen set. Smith through the middle, and Wall is knocked down from behind. That's going to be another Poco power play as Brown gets to the bench for the extra attacker. It'll be Chase Hammerling McLean. Terry with a good one-handed pickup. They got to shoot here. One to do so, and Hammerling McLean can't get a 5-hole. So that'll be the second straight Poco power play coming in this period. Rycourt Construction has been providing quality craftsmanship to the Lower Mainland for over 15 years, specializing in residential renovations from a bathroom makeover to a full home renovation. They're family owned and operated and pride themselves on an exceptional client experience. RycourtConstruction.ca. Hammerling McLean, again, going to run the point. Mills has the power play goal. Back on the floor is Malott to the middle for Wall, who gets hammered, and that's going to be another Nanaimo power play. Wall is slow to get up, but he is back onto his feet, and he's going to head down to the crease. Outside shot, Hammerling McLean put it off of the goaltender. It'll bounce to the far side, and this is going to be a 2-man advantage for the Saints for 1 minute and 35 seconds. Port Coquitlam's Boston Pizza is a family restaurant and sports bar serving great food, including pizza, pasta, wings, and more. Poco's Boston Pizza, proud sponsors of Poco Junior Lacrosse. So Levi Tui is going to stay at center, and it'll be 4-on-3 in the offensive zone from that point forward. Terry towards Mills. Oh, there's a man open on the crease. It's Malott. He scores on the one-timer, and a late call from the official, but it does count. Malott had 7 assists coming into this game. Finally, he finds the back of the net. A good pass from Mills as McDonald took that aggressive step out to take away the shot angle. You can see Malott there in celebration, pointing at the net. The official a little bit late to make that call, but it does indeed count as a good goal, and Poco will stay on the power play. So 2 of their 3 have come on the man advantage. And now still 1.5 minutes to work with on the 5-on-4. Mills backs away off the near side shoulder, and the rebound will be collected in the crease. So Parker Malott, the first Poco Saint not named Lincoln Wall, Josh Mills, or Elijah Terry to score a power play goal for this team. Jack Wade swings across to the near side, and Tui is going to take his team off the power play. Got a cross-check up high into the neck area of Rylan Mon, and now we'll see some 4-on-4 for 61 seconds before a shortened power play for Nanaimo, their first of the game. The Cat and Fiddle Pub in Port Coquitlam is your neighborhood spot for great food, cold drinks, and live sports. Proud supporters of Poco Saints Junior Lacrosse. Visit them today, why don't you? Get an early dinner after this game, just down the road. Tanner Harrison gets the switch from his former teammate. Now Wade off the near side shoulder, and Brown shakes it off. It'll bounce its way into the Nanaimo bench, and this should be Timbermen possession. The referees agree with me. Harrison on the reset. Fontenla, hands were free for a moment, but Dylan Eilert closed the gap. Here's Mon, who drew the penalty, a sidearm bouncer. That goes well wide of the goal. A friendly Saints bounce, and here they go with numbers. It's a 2-on-1. Dylan Eilert with Josh 80, and Eilert puts it was wide, and they put it into the pretty well open goal from Josh 80, but Dylan Eilert was in the crease by the time it went in. That's a good non-call by the referee, or a no-goal call, I should say. Now Dan O'Leary. So there's just 10 seconds left. And the second penalty, Dan Bishop is ready to step back out onto the turf. Fontenla, 7 to shoot, a hard hitch, and puts it on goal. That's another big rebound off of Brown. Fontenla looking for the rebound, but Jordan Meach takes it away from him. So Levi Tui will step out in 45 seconds, barring a Nanaimo goal. And the Timbermen inching closer to being 0 for 1 on the power play. Poco, on the other hand, 2 for 3 in this period. Wall just wants to kill as much of this as possible. He's got 5 seconds left on the shot clock. It's just he and Mills in the offensive zone, and Lincoln Wall takes another shot up high. Hall and Mills starting to mix it up. Lincoln Wall not happy with that hit. So Wall jogs off the floor with a grin on his face, trying to goat Hall into a penalty. Tui is out of the box. Nanaimo is indeed 0 for 1 on the power play. Tui gets right back into the offensive zone. Harrison, he'll shoot around a screen. Big rebound off of Brown, and he makes another save and may have to make a third straight. So there's a reset for Nanaimo. Harrison again can't beat Brown, and Tui will look up as Mills wants that possession early. He's not going to get it. No tech has come on. Now Tui may be in a little bit of trouble. So the defender still has it near center floor. Terry comes in to provide a little bit of support, and Chase Hemmerling-McLean will replace his captain. No tech. Hemmerling-McLean back to no tech. Now near Wall over to Terry and into the corner. Up top, Notek shoots into the Nanaimo logo on the chest protector of Boston McDonald, and Nolan Ross, who has a goal in this frame, picks up the loose ball. Fresh 30 for Poco, 5.5 to play in the first. Cole Cameron joins the possession late. Notek gets topside, returns it to Cameron. Elijah Terry, he'll shoot. Oh, deflected off the defender's stick, and that's a tough save for McDonald, but an important one that keeps his team in the fight here. Another reset possession for this Poco offense. Notek thought about shooting early in the clock. Mills on the pick. He'll get the backhand feed from his rookie teammate. Oh, and he takes a cross check right up into the mask. That may just be a 5. That was straight into the face mask of Mills, and it'll be another Poco power play. Dylan Eilert goes straight across to the referee to likely plead their case. High sticking will be the call, and it will be a major. Mills is going to stay out for this power play. He does already have one of the Poco power play goals in this period, and he would like some poetic justice to get another one after drawing the major. Hemmerling-McLean again is going to quarterback. He'll drag. Now Terry Back over to Hemmerling McLean. Tuck shoots, and off the shoulder of McDonald, and out of play. Nanaimo has been hemmed in their zone for much of this period. Terry goes behind the goal to Wall. Thought about the dunk. He'll feed Malott in the corner instead. One-timer from Hemmerling McLean. That's a big stop for McDonald again. Here's Mills. Hemmerling McLean and Terry, they'll play quite a bit of pass from the outside, and McDonald makes the glove stop. Another reset. It's Mills to the point. Mills has it. He'll shoot it and then gets knocked down from behind. Wall will try to help find that rebound, and Mills got to be careful not to take a penalty here, as could be said for Lincoln Wall. They'll both leave the offensive zone alongside possession in favor of Nanaimo. Back near center. Be picked up by James Hall. Should mention as well, I've said the last name Hall a couple of times in this game. Both James and Jack Hall in the lineup this afternoon for the Timbermen. It's Poco right now out shooting their visitors by a 2-1 margin. And Brown makes a late save in the clock. 3.5 to play in the period. Power play leaking their way onto the turf here. A minute and a half through the major. They want to try the hidden ball trick, but it's not going to fool the penalty killers. Malott behind the goal. Notek has come on to take the position of Josh Mills on this power play. Terry through the middle. Hemmerling McLean, and a kick stop by McDonald. Notek gets the rebound. Mateusz Notek, the shooter on this power play. He'll get the backhand feed, fakes the pass, now sends it to Hemmerling McLean, but it took a deflection. Notek will look to retrieve at the wall and does so. So they're halfway through this shot clock now. A full 2 minutes through the major power play. Here's Malott in front, scores his second of the game, and it's another on the man advantage. That's good motion from this Poco power play. And good awareness by Malott. You can see the low defender who's caught ball watching. Parker Malott goes straight into that open area, and that's an easy pass and finish between that combo of Lincoln Wall and Parker Malott. Second of the game now for the fourth-year junior out of Maple Ridge. Don't forget, Parker Malott was drafted 7th overall back in 2023. Did not become a full-time Junior A mainstay until last season. But he is one of those calm forwards who can fill the back of the net. It's just taken him a little while longer to start off the season. Now it's a shorthanded breakaway for Hall. Dylan Eilert quick on the change and may have got a stick in the lane just in time. Now the power play can make their way back out, and they want to be a little more careful with their possession. So Mateusz Notek gets his first point of his junior career, an assist on the Malott goal. We'll talk a lot about Notek in this game. Was looking up some of his stats over in the league that he plays in back home in the Czech Republic. And my, oh my, plays over the National Box Lacrosse League. And his 2025 stats, listen to this, 17 games played, 78 goals. Just one shy of the league lead, or tying the league, I should say. And the person who held that lead with 79 goals, his brother. So keeping it in the family. And I know this Poco Saints club real high on this kid. Just feels like a matter of time until he finds his first career Junior A goal. He's already got a point, and it only took him, what, about 17 minutes or so of his Junior A career. Not too shabby. 50 seconds left in the period, still a minute left in the major. Mills over to Terry, back to Mills. Hemmerling McLean looks like he's ready to shoot. Mills is as well. Now Hemmerling McLean puts it on goal off the big rebound. And Nanaimo, they're maybe going to have enough time for the 2-for-1, but remember, they're still down a man. See how they want to play what might be their last offensive possession of this period. Tyler Learn tripped up on the turf. but continues to trail behind the forward, the defender up in the offensive zone, Reed Johnson. Swims away from the pile, goes behind the goal. He tries the sneaky little dunk. Clock continued to wind down there a little bit. Poco's not really going to have too much time, just 2 seconds, as Malott thought about the last second shot on goal, looking for his first period hat trick. That's not going to come, but maybe it will, George, in the second period. And you can find all that second period right here on BC Sports TV. Thanks for joining us, folks. 4-1 is the score for the hometown Poco Saints, and we'll be back for more after this. Well, the Poco Saints have returned to the floor, which tells us one thing here, George. Period 2 is just about to get underway. And the home team leads 4-1 through 20 minutes, and let's get you caught up just in case you did miss any of those opening 20 minutes. A lot of it was in favor of Poco, as the score would likely tell you, but this game is very much so still in reach for the Nanaimo Timbermen, and Poco knows that too, which means they want to keep their offense rolling. They got a goal early on from Josh Mills after Gavin Bourne took a cross-checking penalty just 9 seconds into the game, and Poco scored on that ensuing power play. Nanaimo then tied it up, though, just over a minute later, thanks to Tyson Fontenla's 5th of the season. But then it was Poco, more and more and more. Nolan Ross, Parker Malott, and, well, again, Parker Malott round out the scoring for Poco, which brought us to this 4-1 game in which the home team leads. There's 13 seconds remaining on a high-sticking major that Dan Bishop took in that first period. He's ready to step back onto the floor, and Poco likely not going to get a chance to go to goal here on the man advantage. Nothing too dangerous. They are going to start their motion here, though, as the penalty box opens. Elijah Terry has it. He'll put it through, and on a set play towards Parker Malott to complete his hat trick. That didn't work out in his favor. Lincoln Wall, though, finds the loose ball. He'll swim around the pressure. In the middle, he was looking for No Tech, who, if you missed it, is playing in his first career Junior A game and has his first career Junior A assist, as he got a helper on the second Parker Malott goal in the first period. Now O'Leary finds topside, also finds Tanner Harrison on the wall. Fontenla with the only Nanaimo goal. Flips to the outside, and a big rebound falls off of Brown. He steps out of his crease to take a stab at Reed Johnson, who was looking for that loose ball. He took the original shot as well. Now a sprint over the line for Connor O'Brien. And then he'll sprint the rest away to the bench. Here's Lincoln Wall, a one-on-one drive that he likes. He's going to go to the goal and decides to flip it across instead. A hard hit in the crease, and Lincoln Wall once again slow to get up. Man, he has been roughed up in this game, and he is on the limp on his way back to the bench. We'll see his status. He is going to go partially down the tunnel with the trainer, but I can still see him standing there. That would be a big loss for Poco if he's unable to return. O'Leary working with Fontenla. Fontenla stumbled. And we get a shot on the run that whistles wide. It'll be picked up by Benno Wendt, and he wants to run. Maybe a 2-on-1. He turns on the Jets, feeds the back door, and Neary hammered from behind into the boards. No call on that play. Now slow numbers at the other end of the floor as the track meet opens up in the John Bailey Arena. Tough pass. It'll trickle its way back to Ashton Brown. Decides to make the moderately easier play over to Nolan Ross. I only say moderately because there was a forechecker within a stick's length of Nolan Ross. Things starting to get a little chippy here. Cole Cameron thought about going back at James Hall. Now he'll jaw towards the Poco bench after getting a good cross-check in on Liam O'Sullivan, one of 3 Nanaimo call-ups in this game. He, Gavin Bourne, and Carter Blaise all getting the call-up from the Junior B team. Harrison put it wide, stops up behind the goal. Levi Tui tries to draw the interference call. Ashton Brown's got to be careful here. The dunk is available, and he was out of position, but it will be a crease violation against Nanaimo, giving possession back to the Saints. Up to 21 shots here. I think it took them almost the entirety of their game on Friday, as Malott looks for the hat trick and finds it over the shoulder of McDonald. 5-1, the Saints lead. Well, that didn't take long for Parker Malott. Remember, he had 7 assists coming into this game, 0 goals, and that is not something that can be said any longer. Parker Malott has 3 in the game. He's got 3 on the season. Dylan Eilert on the Nolan Ross face-off win. It's Josh 80. Little stutter step move on Jack Hall. Had that left hand trailing behind. Lincoln Wall back onto the floor for the first time since he got that rough hit, and a good slide almost cleaned him out again. Chase Hemmerling McLean puts that up in the throat protector of Boston McDonald. The ball is stuck underneath of said protector. McDonald will shake that off. Nanaimo inching towards double digits in shots. 4 minutes through this middle period. Hard pass over to Wade. He'll shoot off the inside of the post. Teetering on his wrong side of the floor and still getting a good shot off. Now the dunk behind by Fontenla found the outside of the goal, and Poco give possession away.
Saints' fifth goal, his third of the game, his third in a row of the game.
And that's a gritty loose ball to reset the clock for the Timbermen. Let's get back to Fontenla. Shot by Harrison, and Brown will hang on. It's underneath of him. Don't think he realized it entirely at first. Poco back to the offense now. Here is Malott. He's got the hot stick in this game. So he's going to knife his way through the middle, off ball, and Mills will fire a shot off a body. The rebound goes high into the air. It's behind Malott. He didn't realize it. Wall found it in the corner. So he's in the pile, spins free of it. One more spin, why not? And he's knocked down. He draws a penalty, and Ross puts it off the left pad of McDonald. Looking for that rebound. It falls over to Wall, and he's got a fresh 30. He's got a chin strap undone, though, on his helmet. He's got to fix that. Mills takes it at the point. The goaltender is on the bench, and they got time. Extra attacker is Elijah Terry. He's going to float over to the far side now with possession. Hemmerling McLean steps down, shoots, and scores. They don't need the power play. They get one at 6-on-5 and continue to hammer home at this lead. You'll see Terry drag the defenders, and then you see Hemmerling McLean just hammer that one through Boston McDonald. Poco doesn't play until Friday. They get the week off until they come right back here, home floor, to take on the Burnaby Lakers. I believe they actually have 2 straight against Burnaby coming up. They had Nanaimo, obviously, this afternoon, and yes, they do indeed. They got Burnaby at home, and then the following Wednesday, they take on the Lakers at Bill Copeland before rounding out that week with a Friday game, or the following week, excuse me, against the Delta Islanders right here at home. Mills up the play, he wants it. Does not get that go-ahead pass. And I say all of that about Poco's schedule just in the context of their record so far. They're 0-3, looking to find their first win of the season. If they can put together a few good efforts, as No Tech would be denied his first career goal, Poco can find themselves in a better position than where they are now, obviously, if they can pot home a couple of victories and feel a little better about themselves. Remember, it is both a long and short season, depending on how you look at this. Josh Mills draws another Nanaimo penalty, and he's got a grin on his face as Ashton Brown gets to the bench. We'll see if Poco needs a power play this time around or not. Terry to Mills. He'll drag and feed down low. Hemmerling McLean's pass is blocked. Hall is going to pick it up and try to run, but the whistle comes, and it will be a cross-checking call. The slow walk towards the penalty box for James Hall. Josh Mills was just goading him into taking that, and that is exactly what happened. Poco already 2 for 3 on the power play. This is their 4th chance of the game. Good to see Lincoln Wall is still all right, and that's a great one-handed interception taken right out of the middle by Gavin Gunderson. Plays like that, one of the many reasons that he is a leader on this Nanaimo team. So they're without, obviously, their former captain, Andrew Bowman, who aged out of junior last season, but Andrew Bowman is the new offensive coordinator for this team. Hired onto the staff by new head coach and general manager Ty Yanko.
Nanaimo penalty. Number 19, James Hall.
It's Parker Malott
Time of the penalty, 6:46. Cross-checking.
will leave for Terry, and he'll get it back from Hemmerling McLean.
Penalty brought to you by Team
Hemmerling McLean threatening the backhand feed over to Mills. Now he'll lob that over. They'll go behind the goal. Wall in the dunk, scores! Lincoln Wall and Mills with another big celebration. That's going to sting at Hall in the box. Looked like McDonald actually had a chance to recover in time. He had that aggressive step out thinking that Josh Mills was going to take the shot. Have you ever seen somebody celebrate that hard who didn't score a goal? Well, Lincoln Wall collects his 9th of the season. Somehow just his first of this game, but now Mills gets knocked down again. Cole Cameron sprinting over to that far wall to try to find the loose ball, but getting there first was Dan Bishop, and he'll sprint the length of the floor. And Poco with their 3rd power play goal of the game. There's only been one unsuccessful Saints power play this afternoon. Here's Fontenla. He has the only Timbermen goal. That shot goes off the end boards, picked up by Wendt. He's got a man up the play. It's Learn. Benno Wendt throws a late pass towards him, and Learn is knocked down from behind. Could have been a penalty. Some people in the booth certainly think so. Officials on the floor will give Poco possession on the interference. We got jokes up here at BC Sports TV. No tech back onto the floor. Mills gives it over to the righties. Smith, return feed to Mills. He'll go downhill. No tech is open, and a twister shot in tight. Could not beat McDonald. There was very limited space to make that pass and to stay out of the crease for Notek off of the Mills feed.
Number 14, Lincoln Wall. Assist number 34, Josh Mills, and number 77, Elijah Terry.
Now Jack Wade waits for some help to come as Stan O'Leary, the late man, to join. Harrison to Fontenla. Thought about the drive for a moment, but saw 2 low defenders there. It's Wade with a backhander to O'Leary, and that was out of his reach. Another possession for Nanaimo where they don't find a shot on goal. Elijah Terry stepped right back on. Hemmerling McLean late. He'll step into a shot and score. A low one that got under the stick. Second of the game for Hemmerling McLean. This one a more traditional 5-on-5. And you can see the screen there by Mills doing a lot of work. It's the defender hoping to slide over to Hemmerling McLean, just could not get through the big body of Josh Mills, and Chase Hemmerling McLean does the rest of the work himself. Possession Poco following the ensuing face-off. Elijah Terry has his hands free. Mills back onto the floor. Pass across. That was picked off. And Dan Bishop will just take it himself. Harrison from Fontenla. One more farther down, and Jaden Thomas has it. Can't find a shooting lane. Harrison. Mills is stuck on defense. Harrison got a shot through, but Brown able to hang on to the rebound, and Tyler Learn, he's got a lane to the goal. He'll pass over the wall and the one-timer, and a great stop by Boston McDonald. Keeps his team within 7.
Saints' 8th goal, his second of the night, scored by number 17, Chase.
Elijah Terry sneakily right now having a 6-point performance this afternoon, all of them being helpers. But he's got an assist on 6 out of the 8 Poco goals. So Wade with a nice move and pass to the middle that was knocked down by Luke Neary. Remember, Luke Neary spent last season with this Nanaimo team. Ross to Malott and a hard pass quickly over to Terry. Mills, a good handle, and a shot looking for that top corner. That missed, and now Mills mixing it up behind the play, and we may get some rough stuff here as Hall is in the middle of a triple team while the ball goes back in favor of the Saints. Everybody separates, but Nanaimo is going to have to defend a little bit longer here. Here's Mills. A good one-handed grab. He's going to go right back at Hall as he spins. Takes a stick up high, a backhander on goal, and Mills gets his own rebound. Wall is in the middle of a double team without the ball. He'll back away from it. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Mills has his stick ripped out of his hands. He'll go back and pick it up. Opens a lane for Wall. Now Malott robbed by McDonald. Ball falls back down towards Mills, and he can't find it. I cannot believe there was not a penalty at some point on that possession. Back to Wade. Hard screen set. Wade shoots that off the corner boards, high into the air, and a chance now to run right onto it. It's Carter Donahue. Just wants to get it to the forwards. First man in is Carter Smith. Smith to Terry. Hemmerling McLean. Mateusz Notek creating some space in the middle. Smith over to Notek. On that jab step, he's got one hand on his stick, flips that all the way across the floor. That missed the mark. Smith takes it off the boards. Just 5 seconds left on the shot clock, and the Saints will elect to get their defensive change underway. 6.5 minutes left in this middle period. Saints leading 8-1, looking for their first win of the season. I was reminded during the intermission, because I said off the top of this broadcast that one of these two winless teams will not have that be the case anymore. And I guess technically speaking, that might not be the case if there is a result that is a tie. So George, if we're being technical here, there could still be 3 winless teams by the end of this game, technically speaking. Shout out to the mystery texter. You know who you are. Elijah Terry. Over to Lincoln Wall. He's got Mills going to the goal. Wall on a spin and looks to go over the shoulder of Boston McDonald. And once again, there was a hard hit on Lincoln Wall, but this time he bounces right back up off the turf. They got a man going to the goal. It's Johnson, and thought we were going to see a backhander right in that slot area, but it does not come. Harrison to Wade. Learn defending high. Good switch, or rather lack thereof, to stay with Wade. And then Harrison's shot is blocked by Dylan Eilert. Levi Tui's in the middle hoping for a block himself. And that ball goes back in possession of the Poco Saints off of, well, we'll call that another possession for the Timbermen where they can't get a shot specifically on goal. I guess if a shot doesn't make its way on goal, it's not really a shot in the first place. Looking for Malott on the trail through, and that doesn't connect. Now Mills protecting, gets underneath of the double team. Another one comes. So he gets a couple extra slashes in on Hall himself. Actually, both the Hall boys, Jack and James, have been going at Josh Mills all game long. The last time it resulted in a Poco power play. This time it did not. All 3 parties there mentioned watching on from the bench as the Nanaimo offense will look to do a little bit of work. Jaden Thomas has it. Tyson Fontenla gets topside. O'Leary going to the net, gets underneath the defender, and Brown keeps his stick down. Now Luke Neary. Leaves for Smith. Neary wants to stay and play an offensive shift here. Gets into the back of his counterpart. His Wall finds a man in the middle, and Josh Mills just got robbed by Boston McDonald. What a save in tight. Under 4 to play. Poco still with the sizable lead. Terry sees Hemmerling McLean and Lincoln Wall with the next nearest pass. Mills on the flip. As Terry was loading up for a shot, but the ball wasn't settled in his stick just yet. Oh, and there's going to be a Poco penalty coming up as Parker Malott sent his man into the boards from behind. Looks like it's Liam Sullivan who draws the penalty. Oh, and then gets up and sprints to the bench. Not quite sure if I've seen that before there, George. Draw penalty, you look like you're a little bit banged up, and then that's the fastest kid alive, I think. If my stats in front of me are correct, this is just the second power play of the game for Nanaimo. They themselves have spent far too much time in the sin bin. They can get things going in terms of their offense if they can find a power play goal here. That shot from Fontenla would not solve Brown. It's an errant pass from Ashton Brown. Goes to the opposing netminder who gets it back up to their man advantage. Under 3 to play, under 90 seconds left in this Nanaimo power play. Instruction coming from the Timbermen bench. So they want to get into the sticks of the lefties. O'Leary now to Wade as they get their motion going. There's a man open. It is Thomas. Skip over to O'Leary. He'll shoot right through, and Brown took that into the logo. Now Neary on the flip. Perfectly placed as Josh Adey picks it up. And then Hall strips him of possession, and there's an illegal substitution call coming against Poco. Their bench does not like it as Lincoln Wall was ahead of everybody. Now Josh Mills and Levi Toohey trying to go and plead their case to the referee at center turf, and Toohey continues to bark, but he's going to have to go back and defend. It is at the exactly 1 minute mark of the original penalty, so it's an extended 5-on-3 for Nanaimo. They'll leave the trailer at center floor and just play 4-on-3. Thomas has it at the top. He'll skip over to Wade, now through the middle, and again backdoor, the one-timer shot denied by Ashton Brown. He'll lob that ahead to center, and that is exactly why you leave a man at center with the 2-man advantage. Gavin Gunderson intercepted that pass and gets it up to the offense again. Wade. Across to Harrison. Thomas with the fake shot. Wade down low once more. Fontenla is the low man here on the power play. Tries to get that through Brown. That ball is still loose in the crease. Brown has to scramble back into position. Here's Wade. He'll step into a shot. That missed by quite a large margin. It'll be held in at center. Is Parker Malott 2 seconds from jumping into the play. He'll sprint right back into the defense and instructed to go down low. It's just a more traditional 5-on-4 now as Harrison gets it up to Thomas. Wade, down low, Harrison. He'll step into a shot that's blocked by Parker Malott. Tries to get another block, but it will be a stick stop for Ashton Brown. Parker Malott gets all sorts of applause when he gets back to his bench. A forward normally on the Poco power play, out for a penalty-killing shift, and he'll block a shot. Now into the final minute, about 45 seconds left in this middle period. Poco still leading 8-1. Lincoln Wall with no urgency, watched on in the corner by James Hall. Wall spins into a double team. He'll try to swim through it. He does, and then wound up losing possession. 31 seconds left on the clock as Gunderson wants to get things going. Power play will be over in 7 seconds. It's Carter Smith serving the illegal substitution call, and he'll likely go right back into the defense. It's Thomas on the run, on his wrong side as well, and Nanaimo able to call a timeout as they shot. Well, that'll give us a chance to thank our final sponsor. From HVAC to plumbing, First District Mechanical delivers expert service, smart reporting, and 24/7 support. 24/7, George. Preventative maintenance that actually prevents. Imagine that. Visit firstdistrict.ca. So again, mentioned it earlier, but Elijah Terry having maybe the sneakiest 6-point performance I've ever seen. 6 of the 8 Poco goals have Elijah Terry's name written on the score sheet beside them. Parker Malott is leading the way with goals. He's got 3. Finished off that hat trick early in this period. Lincoln Wall with 3 points. Josh Mills with 3 points. Chase Hemmerling McLean with a pair. Both of those being goals. And then a bunch of singles here, George, as I scroll my way down. Bunch of singles. Now a discussion with one of the referees between Tyson Fontenla and Levi Toohey. I believe Toohey is saying, why was the timeout able to be called when there was a shot? But we'll just call that, just maybe a delayed whistle. Calling a timeout before the ball actually left the stick, but give him a break, George. Give the officials a break. 8 seconds to go. Net is empty. It's a 6-on-5 set. Thomas can't get it through. Now down to 3. They'll get a late shot right on. Brown makes the stop, and Dylan Eilert will find the loose ball. Levi Toohey knocked his man down as the buzzer went. And as that buzzer goes, George, Poco will take this 8-1 lead into this second intermission. And we will take a quick breather as we look towards the final period of play. Thanks for joining us here on BC Sports TV. When we return, it'll be just in time for the face-off of the third and final frame of regulation. We'll be back, folks, after this. 20 miles, 20 smiles here, Georgie. Welcome back to BC Sports TV. Welcome back inside the John Bailey Arena, where the Poco Saints are taking on the Nanaimo Timbermen of the BC Junior A Lacrosse League variety. 8-1 is the score in favor of the home team. From the Nanaimo side, there is still just one player with a point, George. Not just talking goals, with a point. That point does just happen to be a goal. It's Tyson Fontenla, if you missed his tally in the first period. Elijah Terry at the other side for the Saints has 6 points. He leads the team in that category. Parker Malott leads the team in the category of goals with 3. Ashton Brown has stopped 20 of 21, according to the website. Boston McDonald has stopped 29 of 37. Both goaltenders remain in their respective creases to start off this third period, in which we are underway. Possession, Nanaimo. Johnson will throw over to Harrison, returns it over to Fontenla now. He'll tuck around Josh 80, and Brown takes it into his stick. Good handle at the far side by Josh 80. He and Ross have a partial 2-on-1, and that maybe ill-advised Josh 80 shot winds up off the boards and out of play. Somehow that missed all of the netting. Gunderson will peel off to the bench after making the pass, and Wade can't beat Brown at the 5-hole. He drops down to his knees. Not often a goaltender that goes down like that, but whatever it takes to make the stop, says Ashton Brown. Hard pass over to Elijah Terry. Hands always ready to shoot. Same could be said for Josh Mills, as he'll take it with one hand and look to tuck it underneath. Oh, that almost trickled. That was between the legs of Boston McDonald, and it just stayed there for a while. Did not look like he realized it. Didn't look like he was in too much of a hurry to make a play on it either. At the other end goes Nanaimo. Dan O'Leary sizing up Dylan Eilert. Lets the offense settle before making a play. Oh, he went to the goal off ball, hoping for that return pass. It doesn't come. Going to call that an interference against Nanaimo. Eilert gets that up quickly to Notek. Hard slash on him. He'll absorb it and flip over to Elijah Terry, and Mills was waiting at the wall. Notek going to set a screen for Josh Mills. He'll get the flip pass. Notek, when he'll be denied by the toe of McDonald. Mills a little slow to get up as Notek picks it up. Does he want the dunk? Yes, he does. And where is it? It's in the crease as McDonald keeps his shoulder up. Just a couple of games ago at the Junior B level, Mateusz Notek scored about a zillion dunk goals against the Maple Ridge Burrards. Obviously, that is an exaggeration, but I feel like in a game where anybody scores more than 2 dunks, you might as well just call that a zillion. In their last game against the New Westminster Salmon Bellies, he put up 10 points in that game. And once again, if you missed it off the top, he has a total of 28 in 5 games played for the Junior B Tier 1 Poco Saints. I was told on Friday evening, ahead of the Saints game versus Coquitlam, by their general manager, Josh Wall, it will not be long until Mateusz Notek gets called up to the Junior A team, and would you look at that, 48 hours later, he's in the lineup. Here's Terry, looking 7-hole. Carter Smith on the rebound, tucks it home. Poco gets up to 9. Big rebound, falls right to the crease. And right place, right time for Carter Smith, who avoids stepping down in the crease and tucks that over top of Boston McDonald. It's a 9-1 game now. And Carter Smith picks up his first goal of this season. That'll be his first point of the season as well. Now Eilert over to Wall. Malott is going to the goal, and he'll get it over to Levi Tui, who was waiting as the safety man at the boards, and now he'll just stay and play an offensive shift. Don't see these too often for Levi Tui. He's going to crash and bang in the middle. Wall on that far side, and it's going to be a moving pick deemed by the official. Now Jack Hall will fire that up. O'Leary going one-on-one with Benno Wendt, and then gets it over to the opposite side. Rylan Mon lets the righties do some work. Fontenla can't get it low and underneath of Brown, who fires a hard pass up the floor. Good handle by Learn. He's on his wrong side. O'Brien is on his right, and good positional save by Boston McDonald. Denies a pair of defenders on a 2-on-1. Fontenla slowing down to let Harrison step on. He'll get that over to Jaden Thomas. Thomas held at bay by Josh 80. Fontenla on the opposite side. Now over to Harrison. Pass was in his midsection, but found a good handle on it. He'll shoot off the glove of Brown, and it'll ricochet up and out of play. Off the goaltender, up into the netting. Gives possession back to Nanaimo. Wade stopped, and Brown looking for that rebound. It's in his crease, and Jordan Meach forced his man down into the paint. Oh, and they're going to say interference on Jordan Meach. That'll give Nanaimo the reset. Meach doesn't like it, has to defend a little longer. So he continues to do battle now with Reed Johnson. Mon's sidearm pass toward Johnson didn't work, and now there's a cross-checking penalty against Jordan Meach. He was the one pleading the case that it should be Poco's possession in the first place, then winds up taking a penalty seconds later. Not a call that Jordan Meach will be happy with, especially considering he's oftentimes out on the penalty kill for Poco. Another one of their fifth-year senior players this season is Jordan Meach, one of their leaders wearing an assistant captain's letter on his chest. Here's Fontenla, big release, and that goes off the face mask of Ashton Brown. Harrison gets the rebound, fresh 30 for Nanaimo. Harrison to Thomas. Up top, Fontenla, and he'll get it back now from Wade. Wade ready to shoot. Harrison takes it in the corner. Thomas winding. Fontenla. Wade firing. Brown will hang on and let it fall into the cuff of his glove. Just about 6 minutes through this third period. It's a commanding 9-1 Poco lead. Both Hall boys are on the floor. They've been battling with Mills all afternoon, and right now it is Josh Mills looking eye to eye with James Hall. He'll absorb a couple of cross checks. Jack Hall comes in to join the double team, and Mills will just let it go. Not going to goat either of them into a penalty this time around. Just let the penalty killers get on. Nanaimo will let their power play make their way up the floor. Wade is going to take his usual spot at that far side shooter position. Fontenla at the point. Thomas at the near side. Fontenla fakes the shot. Harrison has it and sails that right into the Saints logo. Reset coming the way of the Timbermen. Thomas, Fontenla, Wade bobbled it. Neary comes over to try to close in on him. Eilert will join as well, but Nanaimo does a good job to come up with possession. And that hit a body in front. It's Levi Tui, and can he make another block? Oh, that may have found its way on goal. Either way, Levi Tui is on the limp after a huge block. The leadership qualities of Levi Tui showing themselves every time he steps onto the turf, and that's another example, putting his body on the line for his team, even in a 9-1 game. That's going to be a moving pick called. That one goes low onto the tailbone. Notek may have to stay and defend here, and he'll make his way back over to the bench after a good bit of back checking. No Tui on this shift. Just looking down on the bench, actually. Don't see him there at the moment. He may be down in the tunnel getting some attention from the trainer. Meach gets a block this time. Ball goes down to the turf. He has a chance to pick up that loose ball, and he will. Jordan Meach is going to turn on the jets and get over the center line. Wholesale change is complete. Here's Terry. Might he find the back of the net for the first time in this game? Not on that shot. Hard off the boards. No forechecking here for Poco either. Mills staying on the floor for the time being. But as James Hall peels off towards the Nanaimo bench, Josh Mills will do the same at the opposite side. Wade gets around Wendt. Now Harrison has it. Defender gets a good switch, and that'll be a good stop for Ashton Brown as Nolan Ross takes down his man in front. Levi Tui now emerging from the tunnel. He's back onto the Saints bench. Would be a big loss if he had not been able to rejoin. So Wall steps into a perimeter bid, puts it into the left pad of McDonald, who fires that up to his captain. It's Gunderson. Started to turn and burn and then decided to let the offense make their way on. There was no reset on the clock. Now it's going to be a manual count for the officials. Pass coming across the floor. Tyler Learn read that perfectly. Came over to an unsuspecting forward. Now Donahue wants to go to goal and scores. Double digits for Poco. They're up 10-1. Tyler Learn is going to get the primary assist, and well-deserved. You don't see it on the replay there, but right before he started rolling up the floor, he caused a turnover on a perfect read, and then gets the pass across over to Carter Donahue, who did the rest from there, fires that underneath on McDonald. First of the season for Carter Donahue. Hard hit into the boards. Nolan Ross knocks his man down, and can't see a number on the Timbermen forward, but he is still down. Now Harrison mixing it up with Nolan Ross. Hall gets into the pile as well. See if anything extra comes of this. So it is Rylan Mon who's on the limp. There was no penalty being called. There was no arm up from either of the officials. Right now, Nolan Ross is being ushered over to the penalty box. But I believe this is just going to be an offsetting call with Tanner Harrison, as those were the two that started to discuss mixing things up a little bit. And now the question is, whose possession is this going to be? Dylan Eilert points in favor of Poco. That does appear to be the decision. We'll see, though, because Tyson Fontenla and Josh Mills come over to get the description. It looked like one official pointed one way, the other one pointed the other. So this might be Poco ball, but they have to start in their defensive zone. Okay, it will be Poco ball. It will remain 5-on-5, and they will, in fact, start at center. Imagine that. I know, George. So play goes on. We're halfway through this period. Set play on for Poco as Wall gets the swim. Thought about the dunk. He draws the double team, avoids the crease. Hall and Hall, James and Jack close in on Wall, and somehow he kept possession. Now Terry, 8 to shoot. He'll drag, he'll go across, and a one-timer from Mills. What a feed by Elijah Terry. He'll get his 7th assist of the game, and Mills finishes it off. Look at this move as he drags around his own man, avoids the crease, goes across, and Josh Mills tucks that home short side past McDonald. Quite the handle as Elijah Terry picks up his 7th assist. Mills gets his second of the game, I believe. And I'm sure if I'm wrong about that being Josh Mills' second, I will get a text about it tomorrow. Maybe think twice about that text message, though, Josh, after that pass. Got him. O'Leary over to Wade. 9:20 on the clock. Fontenla finds Wade once more. Just looking over the Nanaimo bench, Mon is still at their gate. So by the looks of things, he is all right after that hard hit into the boards. Which is a welcome sight for the Nanaimo fans watching at home. Thanks for joining us as well on BC Sports TV if you are one of those Nanaimo fans. I mean, for the Poco fans as well. Fake backhand from Notek. Showing off his hands a little bit. Here's Malott with a good jab step. He'll shoot off the pad, and Hemmerling McLean dribbles that ball into the back of his stick, then throws a no-looker over to Smith. Vacates over to Malott. Hemmerling McLean now to Wall. Malott sent the pass over to Smith, wasn't expecting it. That's going to be a turnover.
Scored by number 34, Josh Mills. Assist number 77, Elijah Terry, and number 17.
Shot on the run. Johnson whips that wide, bounces off the boards and back over center. Johnson wants to change quickly as we go down to 8 minutes left in this period. Terry's going to pick things up. Smith looks for a bouncer. That hit Parker Malott, a little friendly fire. So he spins off the boards, back to Smith. Now the lefties will do some work. Here's Wall and Mills pairing up for another shift, as they do very often together. Now Mills with a hard hit on the back of Hall. Thought there may have been an interference call going. Hall's going to turn on his jets and try to go. He'll feed over to his brother James. O'Leary now gets into the mix. Fontenla. Wade. Now Thomas. Hands are free. Can he shoot? Yes, he can. It ricochets off the glove of Brown. Neary protecting as he drops his shoulder into Tyson Fontenla. And then stretches the floor. He'll turn on a dime and feed Terry. They once again try that hidden ball trick. Hemmerling McLean has it. Now Mills. Now Hemmerling McLean again. Flips down to Mills. Neary up in the play again. Notek on the dunk. That's not going to work. Now Reed Johnson kept it bay by Meach. There's a Timbermen down in front. Here's Mon back on the floor after he was knocked down hard on his last shift. He's starting to vacate to the bench early-ish in the clock. It was down to about 6 seconds by the time he started to make his way back. Not sure if that's due to maybe nursing an injury or if they just want to get their defenders on the floor with plenty of time. Malott, the trailer, coming in. He has tons of room, but puts that off the goal mouth, and it'll land on the back of the goal. McDonald's just going to pick it up himself, look up the floor, looking for a target. Almost put that between a couple of defenders, and man, that was almost an 8-second count against Nanaimo with no forechecker on. 5:40 on the clock. O'Leary on his toes towards Dylan Eilert. There's Mon back on the floor once more. So thankfully that injury does not appear to be plaguing him to where he's missing shifts. Neary to Terry. A couple of defenders going to the bench late, and that brings on Malott and Smith. Now Mills with Notek creating space. Notek going to the goal. Pass doesn't come. Mills still has it. Now the righties. Terry to Mills, a riser. That goes off the glass, down the floor. Free clear for Nanaimo. They're going to start in that far corner. First man in will be Jack Wade. Wade cut off by Meach. Still with it, though. Kept his feet moving nicely. Now Jaden Thomas finds top side and goes back across the body of Brown, but couldn't get it on target. Now just 10 seconds left on this shot clock. Again, an early start to the change for Nanaimo as, oh, look out. That went off the back glass and then off of Ashton Brown, almost ricocheting into the goal. Right now, Brown with 34 saves on 35 shots. Malott with a quick pass over to Terry. He's got a one-on-one drive that he likes. He'll flip across, and they score. Is that Hemmerling McLean? I believe so. Another nice pass from Terry. That'll be his 8th assist of this game, folks. He tries that drag again. It works. This time with one hand he flips. Oh, and the defender that would have been covering Hemmerling McLean, it was Thomas Young. Clearly thinking that Terry was going to go to the goal because he came over to help his defensive teammate, and that just opened up that passing lane for Hemmerling McLean. Now maybe another one for Poco. Shot goes wide. Tui looking for the rebound, and he'll pick that up off the boards. Got to be careful at center line. He'll lob it across over to Mills, who was waiting. Wall and Notek will be the late trailers into the offense. Just one righty on the floor right now because Neary stayed on. Notek with a backhander, stopped by McDonald. Smith finds the rebound. Mills is down in front. So he's just getting back up to his feet now. They've got a fresh 30 to do some work. Neary still out on the offense. He fakes, takes, shoots, and it was stopped by McDonald again. Notek was knocked down while Neary takes possession. He's got one hand on his stick and sort of unintentionally flips that over to Mateusz Notek. Now Terry, pretty backhander to Mills behind the goal. Tries that blind wraparound shot over his shoulder. Now Smith, two defenders parked in front. They were tied up by Josh Mills while McDonald makes the save. Now O'Leary has it. Under 3 to play. Fontenla, hard pass across. That finds Carter Blaise. He'll go to the back door hoping for that return feed. Brown makes the shoulder stop. The ball falls back towards Fontenla. Thomas. Now Carter Blaise again. Fontenla. Meach gets the tough matchup of Tyson Fontenla. He's done a good job on that all game long. Fontenla with a good handle. Benno went, keeping him to the outside with no stick in his hands. And that's an easy stick save for Brown. He'll feed over to Carter Donahue, who collected his first goal of the season in this period. This time he'll just let the offense do some work. And Lincoln Wall starting off on the offensive side. That pass was looking back towards Malott. Has to take it from the Nanaimo bench. Now Hemmerling McLean, he's got a man open behind the goal. It's Notek. Once again thinking about that dunk. He tries that one-handed toe drag between a pair of defenders. You can just see the creativity every time he touches the ball. Still just 1 point in this game, but not for a lack of opportunities. From what I've been told, it's becoming a goal over in the Czech Republic to have one of their countrymen make it to the NLL, and some have said that Mateusz Notek could be that one. Still obviously very early in his junior career. But again, just looking at some of the numbers, what he's been able to accomplish over the National Box Lacrosse League over last season. 78 goals from him in 17 regular season games played. The goal-scoring talent is clearly there. Neary out for another offensive shift. He tried the swim dodge. Couldn't get around his man. There's 40 seconds on the clock. Neary to Malott. Does he have 4? McDonald says no with his glove. Neary was knocked down with the ball going the opposite direction. Ryder Goodwin will get it over the line. Now Benno took a slash in the change box. The Poco bench wanting a call on that, which does not come. 20 seconds left in the game. Hard to disagree in that case. Fontenla. Back to Fontenla. Gets around on the toe drag. Brown closes the 5-hole, and have to imagine that's going to be Brown's last save of the game. He goes towards the empty net, but it bounces just over. My, oh my, what a stat line that would have been for Ashton Brown, who allows 1 goal on 40 shots, and the Poco Saints can wipe away that big goose egg in their win category. They'll find their first win of the season, improve their record to 1-3, and now they'll have some time to sit on it, learn from the win, and try to carry some momentum into next Friday, where they will host the Burnaby Lakers. You can find that game right here on BC Sports TV, just as you found this one, and we will bid farewell, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining us for another edition of Poco Saints Junior A Lacrosse. For our producer to the stars, Keith Gagne. For cameraman extraordinaire, George Para. I've been Tino Farah. We've been BC Sports TV, and we will see you next Friday, everybody.